Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time.
Yeah.
We've got Stevie and Frank, who's talking to somebody else. All right.
Hey, you know when you start with Matt Clattenburg,
Yeah,
with all the decisions,
Right.
you could go all day.
he could go all day.
Well, we could all go on
could
all
all go
day,
all day.
just bringing up other ones and
Yeah.
going through the whole thing.
And usually you two disagreeing with him.
Well, of course we do. He's a referee, isn't he? You know what idea what they're talking about.
Fair enough. All right, for Frank, do you think PSG will maintain relevance now that Mbappe is gone/going?
Well, it depends who they're going to hire, and we talked about that during the show. Yeah, they have to get somebody to replace, as he can, Mbappe, but they need to strengthen their middle of the park, their midfield with a midfielder. They need to see defensively how they can cope in a better way. I don't know. I think there are so many dark points and so many question marks about that PSG that it's going to be hard at a certain point to maintain anything. They are better than anybody else in the Liga, but really, already last season, but this season particularly, we feel that they cannot go far in the Champions League.
To Stevie, although it is almost certain that Mbappe goes to Madrid, but if there was a slight chance of him coming to Premier League, which clubs among United, City or Liverpool that can afford his wages would best suit him?
City or Liverpool. Listen, the best players want to go to the best teams, and they want to go to teams that are winning. I mean, Haaland went to Man City because they're winning. Oh, okay, I guess I forgot about his dad. There is a connection there. But at the end of the day, if Manchester City were consistently third and fourth, he would have gone to the team that were consistently first.
I have a
like
question for Stevie.
Yeah.
Stevie, do you really think that Liverpool can afford Mbappe's wages? Because I know that City can, but I still, yeah, that's what it is.
No,
I think they cannot pay him.
The first time I heard it, Frank, I'm like, yeah, no chance. How can they afford Mbappe? I mean, they couldn't afford to keep Salah and Mane because of the money. And Mbappe's probably, I don't know the figures, but I'm going to assume that it's both of their wages and more. So it makes no sense. I don't think it's ever made any sense financially.
All right. I saw that Rooney is considering taking up boxing. Which FC analyst would be the best boxer?
Oh, Nedum. Who wants to fight Nedum? No thanks.
Yeah. yeah. Well,
he's quick.
No, but also Jan could be a good one because he had big calves, so he cannot move. You know, like a George Foreman at the time, where the guy couldn't move, but he could punch.
He need to get his hair cut.
He can't even beat a fish in a race.
Although, yeah. We could fight the fish.
You could probably fight the fish.
Yeah.
I reckon you'd be a bit handy, Frank.
Sorry?
I think you'd be all right. You keep yourself well, don't you?
I'm too light. I'm too tall, too light. I think Nedum is more like he had the spirit. Yeah. I don't think I'm good at that. No. I had 2 surgery on my nose. You know, I want to keep it straight. You know, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Nedum wins by a country mile.
Would you ever box? Did you ever box?
No, once at school.
In the playground.
No, we had no. I mean, think about it. Can you imagine today? So I was still at primary school, so I was probably 10, maybe 11 max. And we had for PE one day, we had boxing competition. Proper boxing with the gloves on. 3-minute round.
And none of you boxed?
No. Just the PE teacher decided we would do this. So he basically matched everybody up with somebody who was of a similar size. Bing, bing, off you go.
Did it go? Did you win?
I won, aye. Well, I used my brains because the guy, his name was McSkimmon, Brian McSkimmon. I still remember it. And he came out and he's all guns blazing and all that. And I just gave it one of them. I just walked around like that for about a minute. And eventually he ran out of juice. Aye, I did. That's exactly what I did. I just went like that. He just kept hitting my arm. I can remember it as if it was yesterday. And eventually he's like flagging, his arms are down. Then I took over. Thanks for coming.
Who knows what
But
might
imagine,
have been?
Can you imagine that now? How'd you get on at school today? Oh, I bust my nose, we were boxing. What?
I bet.
Yeah, there you go.
After
Fend them
retirement,
off, then wham.
after retirement, fitness presumably goes away first. But which skills remain the longest, assuming that you've played in a charity match or something since retirement? That's a good question.
Do you know what goes first? It's not, I don't think it's the... Listen, obviously, when you play at the Premier League level or whatever, your fitness is like mental. But your actual fitness doesn't go. It's your balance that goes. I always felt when the older I got, it was my balance that went
Give me a
first.
description of how your balance goes on the pitch.
Well, when somebody moves you to the side and then they go the other way, as they're going the other way, you normally would just straight away go bomb and go straight off.
Right.
But you don't. All of a sudden, hold on a minute, I'm still going this way. Your whole balance goes. They drop the shoulder, you go that way, then they go that way, and then in your brain you're going that way, but your body's still going that way, and you're like.
So what is it? The brain that stays then when you do play in the match later?
Aye. Oh, the brain and the touch are always there. For me, it was a balance. 100%.
The thing is, it's interesting to know what you mean in fitness. Do you mean the cardio, the art, or do you mean the muscles? Because the muscles will help your balance, and I think you lose the muscles so quickly. We can feel that after a week.
Right?
Yeah, the core. Exactly, the core. After a week, when you don't do anything, as a professional football player, you know that something is lacking. It's crazy. The heart, after a week, you can work on that and you can manage to do that. But the core, the muscles, it's unbelievable how quickly you can lose that.
And what about what stayed, Frank, when you've played in games like charity matches and stuff? Would you agree with Stevie that it's the head and the touch?
Yes, because also you don't want to make the effort that you used to do. So it goes with you where, your brain, your brain is all ready to switch off and say, okay, I'm going for it. No, you wonder, you say, am I going for that one? No, I'm not going to that one. It's too far and it's too late and I'm not going. So it's why you're losing it, because you're thinking maybe too much. That's what it is. That's just not nice for a football player, but whatever. But it's what it is. I think you wonder, let's say you wonder more after your career that you were wondering in the middle of it.
They're not quite as sharp. And, yeah, I love that idea of you carrying on doing the sit-ups afterwards.
Well, you do. But then eventually you come to the stage and you go, I've had enough of this.
Yeah, I don't need to do this anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Frank, what should be the expectations for Arsenal in the Champions League? Are they at the level of City and Real Madrid, or do they belong in the class of Barcelona and PSG?
I think they're above Barcelona and PSG. And with all due respect, I think they're still below City and Real Madrid. But they are getting into it at the top of the top. But at a certain point, because of maybe of the depth or the small depth of the bench, they will have to choose. Hopefully for them, no, but I think they will have to choose if they want to chase for the Premier League or they want to get the Champions League. I think it's going to be hard for them to get to be able to get the two of them, that's what I think. They should go for the Premier League. For me, they should go for the Premier League. I think as an English club, that should be the priority.
You've had to live in. I'll ask you both of this. You've had to live in multiple places due to your career. Which one was your favourite and why, Stevie?
Liverpool. It's strange because living in Liverpool, you're in the ball of football. I mean, you can't get away from it. And I don't know whether it was just me, but I never felt the pressure of being in the bowl. The only time I felt the pressure was, right, okay, you got to perform in the day of the game. But for the rest of the week, you know, I didn't feel as though I was in a bowl.
Why? Because you're just one of them.
Yeah, because I think, you know, Scousers in particular just always think you're one of them. You know, Scousers and Liverpool fans in general, I've always felt that the players are just an extension of them. You know, they understand they get more money and they understand this and that. But at the end of the day, all Liverpool fans feel as though the team's theirs and they're one of their own. And so generally when you went out or you're anywhere, yeah, people would sometimes ask you for an autograph or whatever, but generally it was, how you doing? And that was it. You know, you never got harassed, never got bothered really, never, you know, it was just like, it so happened that you played on a Saturday at Anfield. Just didn't feel like a bowl.
So Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool.
What about you, Frank?
Well, to add something about what just Steve said, I think it also depends on the era where you play in the club. I think Mohamed Salah cannot go out without just, hey, hi, how you doing? I think it's a different world right now. And but I love being in London for exactly the same reasons, but because nobody could see you. They were unknown. And I loved football, but it wasn't the center or the biggest interest that I had in my life. I love, of course, you know that, acting, and so I was going to Soho to see some plays and everything, and I was going to the restaurant with my ex-wife. So I would say Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, I was out enjoying London because that city is absolutely beautiful. So that was great.
Last question. Has Frank sublet his apartment for the Paris Olympics?
First, I have a house. I don't have an apartment. But some people, they ask me if I wanted to. It's a lot of money. But I love all my stuff. And I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with somebody using my stuff and sleeping in my bed. And I'm not that type of guy. So I'm not that greedy. So I'm gonna keep my house, and if I'm not there, I'm gonna shut it. I'm gonna close it down and not allowing anybody to come in.
What if it was Dan, or Dan wanted to come and stay?
Definitely not.
Or even more. I will put all the dogs that I know to make sure they can bite him.
Dan's had Frank over for Thanksgiving. He always looks after him when he comes here to Connecticut.
Well, that's all right, but you're talking about Dan going to his.
Yeah, but I went to his place. I went to his place, and I know what he does in his place, so I don't want him to do the same in my place.
I've got some friends, well, I come from Troon, and the Open's at Troon, and every year there are people sending leaflets out, knocking on doors about renting the place out for the week for the Open, and none of them have done it as of yet. I know some of them could do with the money, but it's just the same thing as Frank. Just having somebody walking in your house and using all your stuff, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah. All right, that does it for the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. Make sure to join us tomorrow when we look back on everything that's gone on in the day and no doubt react to more of this Mbappe news.